My dad spent 15 years slowly dying while my mom treated him like a burden. She stole from him, cheated on him, and neglected him. But when he passed away, she thought she'd finally get to play the grieving widow. That's when I made a choice that completely destroyed the fake image she spent years building. If you've ever dreamed of exposing someone who's been hiding behind lies, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a like, because today's story is about how I turned years of pain into one act of revenge that shattered my mom's victim complex forever. Let's get into it. My dad wasn't perfect, but he was a hardworking man who built everything he had with his own two hands. For more than 15 years, he battled chronic illness. It was the kind of sickness that didn't come all at once, but chipped away at you day by day, year by year. As he grew weaker, he leaned more on my mom. You'd think that would be the natural thing, a spouse stepping in, caring, showing love in those final decades. But not her. My mom, she saw his sickness as an opportunity. Instead of compassion, she gave him neglect. Instead of support, she gave him betrayal. She was never a good person to begin with, but once his illness made him vulnerable, she exploited every crack in his life. She told people they were separated, claimed they were basically divorced, all while still living in his house, living off his money. She flirted online and promised to run off with other men and yet never left. Because why would she? She had a free ride and a sick man who couldn't fight back. I can't count the number of times we tried to get her out. We looked into legal routes, begged for help, even asked if her behavior could be considered criminal neglect. But the answer was always the same. It's a civil matter. Nothing we can do. That's when my dad gave me power of attorney. He added me to his accounts, trusting me to protect what little he still controlled. But one thing I couldn't protect him from was his own stubbornness. No matter how bad things got, he refused to leave the house he had paid for, the one piece of pride left in his fading life. Fast forward to November 2022. My dad's health was crumbling fast. The doctors said the end was near. I brought him to my home on hospice care right after Thanksgiving. I made it my mission to give him what my mom never could: peace, dignity, and love in his final days. He passed away on December 1st. I remember that morning with a clarity that still shakes me. The house was quiet. His breath slowed. And then, just like that, silence. I felt relief for him. He wasn't suffering anymore. But I also felt rage. Rage at how he had spent the last decade of his life, enduring abuse from the very person who was supposed to care for him. After he passed, I met with the funeral home. My dad's final wish was cremation, but to my disgust, they told me they couldn't proceed without my mom's consent. And of course, she said no. She wanted control, even now. But when she realized she could still get survivor benefits from Social Security, she graciously agreed, as if she was doing me a favor. That moment sealed it for me. She had spent 15 years tearing him down, and now she wanted to stand at his funeral as the grieving widow. To collect sympathy and play the victim? Absolutely not. I wrote the obituary myself. And in that obituary, she didn't exist. Not a single word about her. No beloved wife. No devoted spouse. Just the story of my dad, his life, his achievements, his legacy, standing alone, untainted by her name. When the obituary was published, people noticed. Friends, extended family, old coworkers, they all asked the same question. Why wasn't she mentioned? That's when the floodgates opened. I didn't lie. I didn't sugarcoat. When people asked, I told them the truth. About the years of cheating, the emotional abuse, the financial exploitation, the neglect. I told them how she made his life hell while pretending to be his partner. And the best part, the carefully crafted victim image she had spent years building shattered overnight. She had always wanted to be seen as the poor, mistreated wife, the long-suffering woman tied to a sick man she couldn't leave. But now, people finally saw her for who she was. They saw the narcissist, the abuser, the selfish opportunist. She lost her mind when she realized what I had done. Calls, screaming, accusations. She demanded to know how I could do this to her. But here's the thing, I had been through therapy. Years of it. I'd worked through the scars of growing up under her narcissism. And I had come to believe one thing. If she didn't want people to talk about the abuse, she should never have committed it. This wasn't revenge out of spite. This was justice. She wanted to be immortalized as the grieving widow. Instead, she became the villain in her own story. And I have no regrets. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. The moment I saw the obituary in print, with no trace of her name, I felt a wave of peace. For once, my dad's memory wasn't tied to her toxicity. It was his. Pure and untainted. The best part wasn't just watching her melt down. Though, I won't lie, that was satisfying. It was knowing that I had honored my dad, that I had given him one final victory, even in death freedom from her shadow. Sometimes revenge isn't about screaming or fighting. Sometimes it's as simple as telling the truth and stripping away someone's mask. And in this case, the truth was the most powerful revenge of all. If you've ever seen someone pretend to be a victim while they were actually the abuser, drop a comment below. I want to hear your stories. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder that justice has many forms. Until next time, remember, sometimes the quietest revenge makes the loudest impact.